Nebraska's a really good team. They got off to a really good start offensively. We dug ourselves a little bit of a hole. Appreciated the way our guys responded in the half to make a run and make a little bit of a game there in the second half, but ultimately not quite enough to complete the comeback. Yeah, I mean, we knew that they get volume from there, and our defense allows volume, so like those are things that we were aware of going in. They're also, I mean, they're a really efficient offensive basketball team. I think they're, top 10 in the country in 2-point percentage field goal, and so we always want to, regardless of opponent, like protect the paint first. I think some of the rotations we could have done better. We could have got to a few more catch and shoots. They made a couple off the dribble, but a lot of them were comfortable catch and shoots that we needed to execute a little better in terms of our timing on the rotation and maybe get them a little more contested. But yeah, I think they started 7 of 9, 8 of 10, something like that from three. And we knew, we knew we were going to have to, be pretty efficient offensively. This wasn't a game that we felt like we were, going to win 62-60 or anything like that. So I think it was a combination of us, maybe leaving a few points out there early and some hot shooting from them was, kind of a recipe for a rough start.
As far as leaving some points out there early, I am curious in that first half. I know sometimes halves just are bad halves, but your guys, there were some turnovers, looked like some uncharacteristic kind of maybe timid shooting. Jake missing open looks isn't common. I'm curious if you can pinpoint anything as to why the offense in that first half seemed so. It took a while to get going.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we did like the shots we had. They didn't go in. I'll live with those shots. I mean, Jake Hall gets clean looks. We'll live with that result. I trust and believe in Jake as a shooter, and I know that he'll make shots. So we saw more of what we're capable of in the second half. But, didn't get it to go early. Too many turnovers for sure. I liked what we did defensively overall. We forced 18 on a team that really takes care of the ball, 11 steals. So we did some things to create some disruption. But in that scenario, we need to have more of a margin there. That should have been more of a benefit for us, and we gave a few away. A couple unforced too, kind of out of a timeout, not executing, kind of, those are the ones that hurt when and that's something that we've had some of, not just today, but it's something that we're working to correct, and we got to do better.
The halftime, Jake said we're competitors and stuff like that. I'm curious if there was anything a little more specific that you guys made an adjustment that you can speak to, or is it just a kind of collective, we got to be better?
It was mostly just we got to be better. I think there was some minor adjustments. We wanted to pick up our ball pressure. I thought we didn't. They were a little too comfortable in the first half with the way the ball was moving, and I thought we did a better job of pressing the ball in the second half. They had some looks in the second half that just didn't go as well. So it's kind of a combination of things, but it wasn't any massive change or difference. I think we have a competitive group that takes pride in their performance that weren't happy with the first half, and I thought they responded well. I was pleased with that.
Dayton Albury gets ejected, and the video, I don't know if you've seen the short time you had after the game, if you've looked at video yet, but it appeared as though you threw a close fist punch at the back of the guy's head. I'm curious, what you said to him, what he said to you, what the refs may have said to you. Was there any communication about that incident that you can share with us? Yeah, no, I mean, my only viewing was behind the bench on an iPad, so I didn't get the closest look. Ref said there was contact to the head and that he was ejected. So, not the close to the half that we were looking for. But again, I thought our team responded well to some adversity there. Are you able to speak to what may happen with him in terms of discipline from the team?
No, I don't have any information on that right now.
There in the first half, Bouillon wasn't necessarily playing his best, and he started playing really well in the second. Whenever you guys kind of went on your run, just how important is he to this team?
Oh yeah, he's an important part of what we're doing. In the moments where he's not as productive, that's not always on him. Some of that's on everyone to get him the ball in the right spots, and I thought we did a little better job of that in the second half. He got a few in transition. He knocked down jump shot. So, Tomslav's a really good player and someone we got to keep involved at all times.
When Jake's not hitting his triples, you still encourage him? Still tell him keep getting them up?
Oh yeah, he's going to hear nothing but keep shooting from us. Like we believe in him as a shooter, and we think those are efficient shots for our team. So he'll get nothing but keep shooting it from us.
One more on the offensive rebounds. You guys are at 5, and I know we just talked about this just the other day with Tomislav in particular, but you guys are last in the Mountain West. It appeared very little kind of going to the offensive glass. Was today a matchup that you didn't want to go too much to the offensive glass, or did it just not happen? And I'm curious if this is sort of a season-long thing since you guys haven't really done it yet, other than Tomislav.
Yeah, Tom does a great job on the glass there. We want to put pressure on the glass. We're not always executing our offensive rebounding scheme consistently, so that's an area we can improve for sure.
I wouldn't say nervous. I think those are routine shots that I got to knock down. I think they just didn't fall, but just got to keep shooting.
What did you guys, either one of you guys, what did you guys see that was working so well for them in the first half? I know you guys primarily have been a defense that kind of would rather shut down the paint over the 3. Doesn't mean you guys just give up the 3, but if they're going to pick one, it's the 3. This is a team that shot a lot of 3s. Was that just them kind of taking what you guys were giving them and hitting all those 3s in the first half?
I mean, they're a good three-point shooting team. We came in knowing that, but they made some tough ones. Honestly, I think if we could have just executed a little bit better on that end, probably would have gave up less. But yeah.
Either one of you, halftime, something obviously changed. You guys came out. I'm curious what your coach told you, or what you guys told yourselves as players to have that 22-day run to 4 at one point in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, as competitors, you never want to go out like that, and we knew we were getting the right shots. We knew they were going to fall like they did in the second half, and just come out and compete. And we all couldn't go out like that. So I think we had to make a run as a team because we're all tough, we're all competitive. So I think just that.
We'll slow down first. It's a really great defense that they play. Something you barely see, just like run and jump. They sped us up, especially me specifically. Just looking back at it, just slowing down, especially if we're up and we got time, we got score. That's really it, just slowing the pace down for me.
Braden, how big do you feel like the depth on the wing is with this team where obviously Price came back down to earth a little bit, and then you have Connor and Chilling as well. That's a big shot.
I just feel like it could be anybody's night, any given night. We have all these guys who can hit 3s, so we can have 5 guys out there that can all hit 3s, and then we can have 2 or 3 guys coming off the bench that can come in and hit 3s. So I just feel like having that depth with the shooting just really stretches the floor out and opens a lot of things up.
Fred, there have been a couple times this year where you mentioned, in timeouts, just telling guys to take a deep breath and relax. What sort of just plays into those moments and getting the response out of them that you guys have so far?
Well, I think the good things are listening when we do that, and it was really single-handedly the number one thing that we had to do was just slow down. And again, they do. Jamarques hit it on the head. They'll run from their man after the ball. They trapped us out of a timeout. We traveled. Those were things that we talked about, and we just didn't execute it. But once we finally went out there and slowed the pace those last 8 minutes, I thought we got the game back under control, and that was obviously a huge stretch to get that thing back when they had total momentum and were feeling really good about themselves. So to find a way to shut that off, again, it takes some guts from your guys, and they went out and executed it. And this is a really good win for our team. Yeah, first and foremost, Eric is an unbelievable coach, and we had 3 games that we watched from their first beginning part of the season. So we watched a lot of what his teams did at UC San Diego, what their zone was like, how teams got the ball to the sweet spot, and how you could try to go out there and attack. Because that's a tricky defense that you don't see very often, and they've got really good pieces. They fit with how Eric plays. They were really good at forcing turnovers last year, and obviously they've done a great job of that in the early portion of the season. So I think New Mexico got a really good one in Eric, and this team has got a lot of pieces. They got a lot of guys that can knock down shots, and I think they fit well together. So again, I'm proud of our guys for finding a way to win this one. When you play against a team that plays so much different than anything you face, you're a little nervous going into it. But our guys did a great job in the first, and give New Mexico credit for fighting all the way to the end.
From a matchup standpoint, you guys obviously have been shooting a lot of 3s. 50% of your shots coming in, about 50% in threes. Their defense kind of would rather you shoot the three than penetrate. Was there any kind of plan B if you weren't knocking down their shots, if they were kind of daring you to do it?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we did against Oklahoma. Is they were really taking away the line. We did a great job of getting the ball inside. You know, I thought, you know, the thing I think our team has done really well in the early portion of the season is take what the defense gives us. You know, with the exception, I didn't really like our shot distribution in the Maryland Eastern Shore game. I thought we were really stagnant that game. But once we got moving and, you know, started screening and playing with purpose, you know, I thought our offense was very effective. And again, I think that's going to be one of the top defenses in the country this year.